Hello, everybody. Welcome to the final recap of season 15 for the GT3 Sprint Championship presented by Broken Wing Racing League. We were at Indy Road Course. It was also this weekend for the 6-hour iRacing special events. A lot of Indy this weekend. Um, I'll be honest, it was a fairly straightforward race. It seemed like, even watching the broadcast back, there wasn't a whole lot of drama, a lot of fuel saving kind of battles going on. An unfortunate incident for Joshua Jablonski sees himself spin out on kind of coming off the banking back for the last little cut until you get to the start finish straight again. Pretty early on, he had that spin and kind of ended his title hopes. He had quite a great recovery drive. But yeah, outside of that, not a lot of interesting, like, crazy things to talk about review wise. Peter came out and put on an absolute clinic. He solidified, listening to the post race interview, solidified his second championship. That was a great job by him. We'll get to the title winners, but congrats on the race win. That was, I think he's had quite a few this second half here, really propelled himself. Um, Chris Chitterling took second overall. He had a pretty great fuel save battle with Jacob Simmons, and I think he finally just he didn't have to save anymore, and so he could really push the braking zones and took advantage of Jacob and got second overall. Basically, did all he could to try to win this Pro-Am title. We'll see in a few minutes if it worked for him or not. But second overall and getting a win, there's really not much more you could do. Um, Brandon Burns, we see a resurgence here. Return to form. He gets another win after Eric had been just rattling him off, um, which pretty much we know solidifies that he won the overall. We'll see how the second half points shake out, but yeah, that was it was a great drive by him. I think I saw him qualifying up in the top 10 at some point. Um, he just he rode a solid race and took home another AM win. Um, he's had a good year. I think we'll take a look at PR. We're going to try to keep some of this race recap to a short, condensed. There wasn't a whole lot. Basically, everybody that needed to do well seemed to have done well, and we'll jump in a little bit into the power rankings and see who's moving and shaking there. And then finally, for the rookies, congrats to Roman Bykov. I know he was in a tight battle. I'll have to look. I don't think he took the season, but a tight battle. He came out and did what he needed to do and got a win. I think him and Eric Kunzman had a get together at some point. I don't think it was really anything nefarious. They just got close. I didn't save the recording this time. I was so just mid that whole race, just kind of washed. It felt like, just kind of falling backwards, not being able to tack forward. So as soon as the race ended, I did my couple donuts and closed out quick and didn't hit save like a real genius I am. So next season we'll try to create a more, you know, normal format where, kind of like we got in the last one. I really like that style. Requires a little bit more fine tuning, but I enjoyed it. So let's hop into these points battles. We'll just go to the main one, and as you can see, Peter claims the win. Zoom in a little because it's probably tough to see some of those numbers. 150. You have to do a little side scrolling. But yeah, like I said, Peter takes the win. The points didn't end up being very close. Jacob getting third overall, and like I said, Josh Jablonski had a rough spin that saw him really tumble back. And I think he had an insane recovery drive to like maybe a top 10, which is pretty insane. I think at one point he was dead last. So that's a great recovery. It just was not enough to take second overall. But like I said, Peter is your champion. He won it looks like 4 of the 6 races. So that's pretty dominant, you know. That's man on a mission there. So congrats to Peter, Jacob, and Josh. That's your pro podium this overall season. And I think it also is your pro podium for the second half. Let's take a quick gander. It is, but Josh is actually ahead of Jacob in the second half. So those two are flipped in the half, but Jacob took second in the overall. We'll move down. As you can see, Chris's heroic run for a second overall was just not enough to oust Marshall. I know Jason really thought that he had it on the broadcast, but I just looking at the numbers, it was going to take a Herculean effort. I mean, he scored 427 points and he still lost by 70 something overall. I didn't think there was any way Marshall was gonna get dethroned here for the overall. So congrats to Marshall. It's an awesome season. I mean, you held off some pretty heavy hitters. You know, Chris, like I said, he gets second overall. Like, that's a monster. Max, you know, he put on an insane charge. I think some missed races hurt him. You know, having 2 in each half and still getting third overall is that's pretty insane. Alex had a really good showing every time that he was able to show up. So, but yeah, I mean, there's nobody slow in this entire group here. Everybody is incredibly fast. So to take a pro-am title is no small matter, nothing to scoff at. It's a great job, Marshall. Congrats. And we'll see. Excited to see how it breaks down next season. In our group, as I said, Brandon just no real chance. I think that we saw Brandon falling. In the overall, he had a pretty commanding lead, uh, and it stays that way. I mean, goodness gracious, almost 400 points from an absolutely surging Eric Koonsman. I think like I said, he had 3 straight wins. I don't think he ever finished off the podium this second half. Um, and he still couldn't close that gap to Brandon. So congrats, Brandon, on just an absolute killer season. And a little sneak preview, it appears he will also be bumping up to the Purple Pro Ams. So we'll hold the congratulations. But you know, that's what a season. Even his bad run, I think Silverstone was a rough one for him. Partially my fault, partially not. You know, happens. Unfortunate incident that saw him lose a lot of time, but every other week, even if he wasn't winning, he was always right up there at the top, just showing great consistency and kind of just keeping the gap to Eric close, even while Eric was surging. I come in third overall for the season, probably like 450th for the second half. I think my numbers just show what happens if you show up every week. You just show up and run a mid race. I think if you look, I probably averaged finishing 22nd overall. And you just keep doing that every week, you'll find yourself near the top of this AM class, but probably never really pushing for the overall on that. I think how many points did I find myself back? I mean, 600 points back. Brandon could have missed like 2 full races, and I still probably wouldn't have gotten past him. So what a season from Brandon. Congrats, dude. Eric, you had a great second half. I think you probably, let me double check. Yeah, you pretty easily took the second half title. So it's not a full title, but it's still a title. You know, banners hang forever. You know, so congrats to both of y'all. You know, great season. I really look forward to next season. We'll see where all the promotions shake out, and hopefully we have ourselves a killer season 16. And then finally, we'll come down to our friends in the rookie division. So it looks like Marcello DeLeo held Roman off, even with Roman getting that final win. I know it was close, but Roman takes the last race, but he does not take the war. That belongs to Marcello by, 15 points. That's that's a pretty crazy margin between these two. I was all over Marcello until I got a little slowdown. That maybe could have helped Roman. My bad, man. My bad. But yeah, Marcello just also showing what consistency can bring. Roman easily takes the second half title, so he can live with that. That's quite an accomplishment as well. Title's a title. Like I said, banners fly forever. So congrats to you two, Marcelo for the overall rookie, and Roman with the second half rookie title. That's really awesome stuff. Now the fun part. Let's look at the teams. I was pretty on the record with saying I think Draft Punt Gold couldn't lose this. And Peter really tried to prove me right with another overall victory. But unfortunately, Elliott had scheduling conflicts. I heard there might be something mildly more pressing than winning a team title in Broken Wing Racing League, GT3 Sprint. Um, I don't know what could possibly be more pressing. Uh, Jokes aside, I do think he had a pretty good excuse. That lets two top 10 finishers in this race in Jacob Simmons with third, and I think Dylan, I don't remember exactly where he finished. Let him come back, storm back, and take another half. I believe they won the first half and then snuck the second half by they actually didn't win the second half, but they snuck the overall by the skin of their teeth. We're talking 30 points, 32 points. Goodness, if Elliott even showed up, did one lap, put it in the wall, they are overall champs. But no, that title belongs to Thunder Thighs Racing. Fantastic team name. It references Dylan destroying his brake pedal at the start of I think it was Watkins or somewhere last season. Just too strong, thighs too big. They had some awesome liveries. They were really fun to watch. And they take the overall team title with Draft Punt Gold getting second and Papaya Rules with Mark and Trey getting third. And this is impressive because Trey mostly doesn't qualify. He tries to go last or first. He does a damn good job of getting close to that. So the two of them together, both pros in an incredibly stacked pro class, racking up enough points weekly to get third overall that's no small feat. That is quite impressive of those two guys. So yeah, that wraps up the season. I think season 15 was an awesome one. We mixed in some new tracks, had some old reoccurring ones. I think everybody had a great time. Participation waxed and waned a bit. We had some races that were near full grid, some that were 30-ish cars. It's summertime. It's kind of tough to really know. Uh, it's tough for schedules. People are busy. They're on vacation. They got family stuff. They just want to be outside because it's nice. So hopefully, as we get into the fall, everyone's in their house. They're watching football. They're like, who cares about the Sunday night game? I'll put it on the TV next to me. And we have some pretty large grids for this season 16 that we have starting up in a couple of weeks. I think schedules will go out in the next week or two, and we'll all start getting excited and riled up for it. And speaking of that, let's take a look at the power rankings. I've compiled them over here. I put them in my own thing so I could kind of sort and not mess up Garrett's intricate sheet, because the last thing I want to do is mess that up. So I've got it from overall PR, highest to lowest, so we can just kind of scroll through and see some of the fringe people and who's going to move up. First name I see that's odd, Ethan Orr. He's in the rookie class. I think he just kind of didn't show up for a while and then came back, and so he had to reclassify. He's tracking to be a pro, but he only has 2 races, so I think he's got to complete a couple more to qualify. But at the moment, he's on the verge, tracking to be a pro. You've got Jeff here, who dipped to Pro-Am PR numbers, which is 73 to 85. But I think you get at least, I think you have to do it be below 2 seasons in a row to get bumped down. So he will stay pro. Um, there was some talk that Chris Chitterling might bump up to pro, 84.7. I don't know. His season, he did technically by his single season, he would be pro. I guess it'll be a decision from the stewards, but as of what I'm looking at now, he would stay pro-am. Rookie Nick Nickerson, pro-am, but again, not enough races, so he would not qualify. Same with Seba Corns. I know he had a pretty big showing. He kind of really stole the spotlight at where were we last week? Hockenheim. He had a great top 10 race. But again, he would need more. Trey, I don't see them bumping him down to pro-am. I know it shows here, but again, I think he need 2 seasons of that. And then also with his is always odd because he doesn't qualify, so it really kills his ranking because that's a big portion. So unlikely that changes. Aaron, another rookie that could be a pro-am but doesn't have the races yet. Someone who does, Sean Dickinson, welcome to pro-am. I assume 4 or 5 races, I believe, should put you there. 4, maybe not. We saw some people with 4 races at the half get bumped. I think it's supposed to be 5, but I saw a number of people with 4 that got bumped. So we'll see, but I think he should qualify for pro-am. He's very well in there, so he only needs to do 1 more race and he would qualify. So my bet probably finds himself pro-am. Clayton Davis, again, another person solidly in the pro-am ranking, but only 1 race. So I don't think he'll get the bump. I think he's got another season in rookies. Same with Ken Copeland, another person in there, but with not enough races. We're just gonna skip past Allie and John. Same thing. Here's our first, AM getting the bump. We got Brandon Burns bumping over 73.2. He's your champion, and it looks like he's going to be moving up to pro-am. So congrats, man. That's a big deal. Knock him dead for us AMs. Show him what we got. Seth Hansen, I think here's another one it would take another season of being below before he gets dropped down. He'll probably stay pro-am. Darius Timms, I think he has a rookie win at Mosport, but he does not have enough races. I would imagine he probably stays rookie, as well as Devin and Jackson. But Roman Bykov, your last race rookie winner, as well as second half rookie champ, solidly in the AM class with 8 races. So see you on the grid, season 16, Roman. Welcome. Same with Aiden. I know Aiden I think he had a couple of rookie wins. But yeah, he finds himself with plenty of races in the AM power ranking area, so we'll see him bump up. See Brody, Mathis, Raul, and Lou all don't have enough races. Marcello, DeLeo, he has plenty of races. He is solidly in the AM class. He will join us. I know I've had a number of battles with him, so that should be good stuff. Jed and Andrew, not enough races, as well as Edwin. Maxwell Woodman Z, he'll bump up to AM with us. Congrats. I know he's been highlighted in a video at Hockenheim, so it'll be good to see him. And let's see, James and TJ, not enough races. Jerome, Jeremy, Marcello, Frederick, twice. Matthew Jennings. We got some doubles down here, but yeah, none of these guys unfortunately have enough races to work their way out of rookies. So they show up for the first half. By the second half, they should all find themselves a home. So yeah, like I said, it was a great year. Excited to see some of these guys get put in some of these rookies find their way into more permanent classes and go toe to toe with everyone. Should be an exciting season, and I really look forward to it. I hope everyone else does as well. And I think we'll see y'all in like 2 weeks. We got week 13, nothing really going on. Yeah, I guess not really anything to make the video about. Maybe I'll do a preview. I think Falcon will go the Tuesday before this first Sunday race, so maybe we'll do a little preview on some of the changes for Falcon and get everyone excited for that, and we'll do a review of that one as well, and we'll kick the season off. So thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. Said, got any comments or thoughts? Please let me know. I'd love to hear them. And have yourselves a great week 13. Catch y'all later. Bye.